Hey everyone, my name is Ash and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we will be discussing reality TV. We'll talk about the history of reality TV from inception to modern day, the pros and cons of reality TV, my thoughts regarding everything discussed, and much more. But before we get started, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Also, please leave a comment letting me know your thoughts on today's video, as well as other topics you would want to see in the future. Now, let's get started. Everyone at one point has watched or at least heard about reality television. From Survivor to Keeping Up with the Kardashians, reality TV has given us a variety of things to watch on TV. To start, reality television is defined as a genre of television programming that documents purportedly unscripted real-life situations, often starring unknown individuals rather than professional actors. Reality TV became popular in the 90s and 2000s, but there were previous instances of it from as far back as the 1940s. At that time, reality TV was more centered around having regular people on TV going about their day. They might have been asked to do tasks and performances. In some cases, they were even pranked. In the late 40s into the 50s, talent shows and game shows were starting to get traction, allowing contestants to show off their skills and knowledge to the appeal of audiences who would vote for their favorite people. Around the 1960s into the 70s, reality shows started featuring recurring themes and plots to entertain viewers. An example of this would be the 1965 show, The American Sportsman, a show dedicated to celebrities doing outdoor activities such as hunting, fishing, and much more. Other shows featured documentary-style filming, and the rise of competition shows led to the inception of popular shows, one of which being The Newlywed Game, a show dedicated to spouses competing to determine who knows the other best. By the time the 80s rolled around, reality television was a big hit and channels were trying their best to replicate each other's success. A popular show that came out around this time was called Real People. The show, running from 1979 to 1984, featured clips of everyday people from different backgrounds. The major success of the show gave way to similar shows like That's Incredible and That's My Line. Shows that featured regular people in a location together and watching their reactions also came up around this time. The Dutch show, Nummer 28, has been stated as one of the pioneers, and that show has been discussed as the predecessor to the MTV show, The Real World. By the end of the 90s, there were many different TV shows for any and everything. From survival shows like Survivor to cooking competitions like MasterChef, reality TV had established itself across the world. In the early 2000s, reality shows took a slight decline in popularity, but still remained pretty consistent. Shows like The Amazing Race struggled for a period of time, but Survivor, American Idol, and others held on during the dip. In fact, these shows as well as countless others like Big Brother, Deal or No Deal, and The Biggest Loser managed to withstand the drop in popularity and did well outside of the US. Reality shows did pretty well when it came to DVD sales during the 2000s since people wanted to rewatch the whole season of their favorite shows. When it came to syndication, however, problems arose for shows that more or less required the viewer to keep up with the previous episodes, like for example, America's Next Top Model. However, shows like Cops and Cheaters did well when they went into syndication. From the 2010s to now, reality shows have hit a bit of a plateau due to the decline in people watching TV. However, many reality shows do still exist and have made their way to streaming platforms, most notably Netflix. Reality television has a lot of pros and cons that come with it. We will first look at the pros of reality television and then the cons. The first pro of reality TV is that it's entertaining. I think this goes without saying that reality TV has been and still is relatively entertaining, and that's why people continually go back to the genre. From watching people compete in harsh living situations to fighting over petty issues, reality TV just gives the people what they want. The next pro is that reality TV can and has been really real. The hope is that all reality television shows follow this premise of having actual real moments on the show. While this does not always happen, there have been plenty instances where these shows get into really deep issues. A show example that comes to mind for me is The Real World. The skeleton season really showed me that people, even at really young ages, can go through a lot, and even when things are better, there still is a lot of old skeletons left in the closet. The last pro of reality television shows that I wanted to discuss is that reality TV can actually present regular people. Now, while newer reality shows have tended to gear toward showcasing celebrities and influencers, there are still countless shows that feature real people doing real things and living their real lives. For example, a new show on TLC called Doubling Down with the Doricos showcases Karen and Dion Dorico and their 13 kids with triplets on the way. While not a regular reality for most people, it is a reality to some of the population and gives a new insight on how families this large operate. Like pros, reality television has a decent amount of cons as well. Here are a couple cons that have been discussed regarding reality television. To start, people don't feel like reality TV is real. People on the internet have speculated time and time again that they feel like what they see on the screen is fake or doesn't accurately reflect reality. This could be due to many reasons. For one, parts of the show could have been scripted, therefore allowing there to be some form of consistent plot that could be kept or to create drama. Another could be that the show is edited. This point emphasizes that while the show may display actual reactions, they could be sliced to look different than initially transpired. Lastly, it could be rigged. For competition or game shows, people have speculated if parts of these shows have been set up by the crew to favor someone or even hurt someone else's chances of winning. The next point is that reality TV can have a negative impact. I know this goes without saying, but reality television has been known to bring out the worst in people. These shows have sometimes pushed contestants into bad choices for the sake of the show. Not only this, but the influence of these shows have been said to contribute to some bad habits in society, like vanity and consumerism. Speaking to that, my final con point is that reality television has created celebrities who are famous just because they're famous. Many people have said this about the Kardashians, who have seemingly created an entire empire from nothing. People have criticized society for making people famous for no reason, or at least giving them some form of 15 minutes of fame. Now that we have discussed the pros and cons of reality TV, I turn the mic over to you. What do you like or dislike about reality television? Are there any shows you watch personally? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I used to really love reality TV, and I still do somewhat now. I grew up on reality TV, watching countless episodes of Survivor, The Biggest Loser, and much more. These shows were fast-paced, so I never found myself getting bored during the 30 to 60-minute blocks they were on for. With that being said, here are my final thoughts. In my personal opinion, reality TV is a great medium, but its drawbacks have tarnished the credibility of the genre. While I look forward to keeping up with my favorite shows, I find myself sometimes questioning the legitimacy of the content, and this has caused me to be turned off by some shows. Another point I wanted to emphasize is that reality TV sometimes takes advantage of the people on them. I understand that people who sign up for these shows usually know what they're getting into, but sometimes these networks will exploit them for views. For example, Toni Braxton, an American singer, talked about how WeTV allegedly screwed over her and her family contract-wise and credibility-wise. Lastly, before I finish up, here are some reality shows I have watched as of recently. 90 Day Fiance has grown to be one of the reality shows that I have watched all versions TLC has promoted, like 90 Day, Happily Ever After, What Now, The Other Way, and so on and so forth. The show is a lot, that's all I can say. Another show I watched different versions of is Little Women. I've seen Little Women LA, Dallas, and Atlanta. The spin-offs all have their different vibes, so I feel like you could find one that suits your entertainment style. Lastly, my summertime show is Big Brother. I started watching more regularly in the past couple years, and I have to say, the show doesn't disappoint in the slightest with the drama. Now, regarding the winners of the show, that's a whole nother discussion. If you ever want to see me do a show breakdown or anything like that, just let me know and I'll get on it. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment letting me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!